Good morning. I'm Pastor Jim Higdon, and welcome to another installment of Joy in the Journey. Today I want to talk with you about sowing seeds. Now, I have to admit that I haven't worked out in the garden a great deal in a long time. But back as a boy, I spent a great deal of the time in the garden with Dad. Dad grew up on a farm and he loved every part of working out in the garden. But I think he loved planting season the most. He used to spend hours planning and laying out the garden. He loved to prepare the soil. Then he would tuck the seeds safely into the ground and wait with great anticipation for them to come up. How about you? Have you planted any seeds lately? Especially, have you planted any seeds in the kingdom of God? I always loved the story about Henry Ford that says that he would give away millions of dollars, but he really did not like to or refused to give money to schools. He felt that well-meaning but non-business-like people frequently mishandled the gifts. Then there was this woman named Martha Berry who had begun a school in Mount Berry, Georgia. She started the school because she was shocked to discover that so many of the children neither attended church nor school, and they were unfamiliar with Bible stories. So she decided to start a school where the poor could learn to read and write and do arithmetic and learn basic Bible stories, but she needed money to be able to do that. So she was well aware of the fact of how Henry Ford felt about giving money to schools, but she went to him anyway and asked for an endowment. As expected, Henry Ford refused. So Miss Berry said, "Well then, would you at least give me a dime so that I may buy a sack of peanuts?" For Ford was taken back. He didn't know what to say, and he said, "Why do you want just a dime?" She replied, "A dime is all I want, Mr. Ford, because I want to show you what I can do with 10 cents. Berry returned to her school, and she planted those peanuts. And she replanted them, and her students helped her, and she then sold that crop of peanuts for over $600. She then took that money to Henry Ford and stood face to face with him and said, "See how practical we are with the use of money here at the Martha Berry School." Mr. Ford was so pleased that he gave her back her $600 along with $2 million. Martha Berry took that money back and built buildings, and it became the Berry College in Mount Berry, Georgia. The difference that we need to remember between God and Henry Ford is that, well, there's probably a lot of differences, but God believes in us. God knows that we are capable of using those seeds and those gifts for good. He believes in us, and he trusts our faithfulness. The question for us today is, what have we done with the seed that God has given to us? Hear the parable of the sower from Matthew 13. That same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him, and he got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, "A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell on the path, and the birds came and ate it. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow, but when the sun came up, the plants were scorched and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop, 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear." My friends, God has given you a great deal of valuable seed. What will you do with it? Will you be careful with it? Will you spread it liberally? Will you hoard it? God is waiting on you to sow those seeds that he has given to you. What will you do? Until next time, see you on down the road.